All right, everybody. So welcome back to another exciting event in MISA. So we are week 9 in the semester, but we're week 8 in MISA. So hopefully we were talking about a little bit before about this is supposed to be our spring break week. So if you remember, spring break's now at the end of the semester. So we're going to keep the excitement up for spring break by having a great info session tonight. So keeping everybody happy and excited. So tonight we have, as I mentioned before, the way MISA pretty much works is we'll have a general meeting one week, and then we'll have a company information session the other week. So last week we had that tech talk with Professor Sementelli. And so it was more of that sort of educational, informational piece. And so tonight we're going to have a really great company information session. So for those of you that have been with MISA for a little bit, we actually had this company come in 2 years ago. They were slated to come last year, but then, COVID hit and we had to cancel MISA. And so we were so disappointed that it wasn't able to work out. But they came 2 years ago, and you may not know, or obviously you may not know where it's located, but you've probably heard of AutoNation at some point in time, either the billboards, looking at somebody's car, the ads that they have on TV and the radio. But we're excited to have them here. Specifically, when you think of AutoNation, you might think of just cars and sales. And while that's one realm of the aspect, there's a lot of other opportunities there. And so you'll hear from the speakers that we have tonight about some of the other aspects that work behind the scenes to keep everything going and keep everything moving. And we're excited to have both of them come in, and they'll be talking specifically about their departments and their roles, and then also some of the other opportunities that are available at AutoNation and what are some of the things that they do, and some of the things that go on with sort of the company culture and how it feels to work there and those type of pieces. And that's what they'll essentially be discussing. So without further ado, and giving away any secrets or exciting things and leaving it to their presentation, can we give a nice virtual MISA warm round of applause for Lewis and Taylor from AutoNation?
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Jonathan. I appreciate the invitation. It's a pleasure to meet everyone on the call as well. And just to, as a, just point of introduction. So again, Luis Ramirez, and I am the Senior Project Manager for Infrastructure and Operations, and also Cybersecurity. Taylor is an Associate Project Coordinator, and we will let you know a little bit more about the details of our life at AutoNation in a little while. I wanted to start with some facts about AutoNation. So let's talk a little bit about who is AutoNation, because it's funny. The other day, somebody told me that they had another session with another college, and the people thought that AutoNation was an insurance company. Somebody else thought that it was, oh, you're like, like CarMax or Carvana or something, or do you do automations for companies? And so I wanted to clarify that that AutoNation is kind of a little bit of some of that, except for the insurance part, of course. But basically, we're America's largest automotive retailer, and we, usually people don't know this, but last year, the company, had about over $20 billion in revenue. That's huge, and now we're operating over 325 locations. And when I say location, I mean a store, which is a dealership, or it's also collision centers, and also the headquarters, which we support as well. So, we also have investment grade ratings. So our stock is public, of course. And so we get rated for, our performance. And frankly, I was saying this before the meeting started to Jonathan and their team. Last year was a banner year for the company. Unfortunately, it had to be on the back of COVID, but that's what happens. People didn't want to get in cars. People didn't want to, take public transportation. So they ended up buying more cars, more used cars and new cars. So our company had a record year, which obviously is good for us. But nevertheless, this was a terrible crisis. It's very sad to hear that in a way. We also brand extensions, which means that besides selling cars and used and new cars, we also have other products like car batteries, tires, and things like that, and services that we provide, to our customers when they come in. So there's a variety of things that we do. Wanted to show you, and that's, by the way, our headquarters here in downtown Fort Lauderdale. So that's a great place and a great location as well. So the odometer, basically, what is it that we're trying to do? Well, first of all, we're huge. We have 21,000 employees. We have sold over 12 million vehicles in our history, 25 years. We have serviced over 40 million vehicles around the country. And we have raised over $25 million for cancer research and treatment. AutoNation is very invested in cancer research and also in community outreach. So we're going to talk a little bit about that in a minute. We ranked 154 in the Fortune 500. As I said, we have 325 plus stores and collision centers. Watch out, in the next 5 years, we're going to open about 100 more AutoNation USA stores, which are the ones that sell the used cars. And we're actually in the process of doing the first 5 this year. So it's going to be, we're in growth mode at this point, basically. We represent 35 manufacturer brands. So BMW, Mercedes, Toyota, you name it. We have them all, Bentleys, Jaguars, whatever. And if you know, by the way, you don't know this, but all the South Florida dealership, Mercedes dealerships are AutoNation dealerships. So trivia kind of thing. And as I said, we are America's largest automotive retailer. So let me move on. So the mission, and by the way, you probably recognize that lady from the commercials on TV. She's all over the place all the time. But for our customers, we want to be convenient with them, transparent. We want to serve the customer's needs. That's what brings them back. And we want to empower and delight them and just have a good experience, or that they have a good experience. I can say that because I'm a customer as well. I recently bought a Toyota, and I got to tell you the experience, and not because I'm an employee, but we have a VIP program where we send the requirements to our CI, to our Chief Operating Officer, and he actually puts people through that experience. And I hear raves about it because people love it, and you don't even have to step in the store. You can buy a car from, you go to the website and the car is delivered to your house. So it's, it's a real good feeling for the customer. For associates, we work together in teams, we collaborate. We are very ethical. And one of the things that I'm proud of, and you'll hear Taylor talk about this a little bit, is the teamwork. We welcome everyone, and we actually work with them very closely to make sure that they're successful. And that's important, in our culture. For communities, because as I said, we want to make the neighborhoods a better place to live. So we do a lot of philanthropic things. We raise, money for various things. We bring gifts to the kids at Christmas that cannot afford it, holidays. So we do all kinds of stuff like that. For our manufacturing partners, BMW, Mercedes, everybody else, we work together because we want to represent their brands. Their brands are in the stores, but we're behind the scenes making everything happen for them. And for our shareholders, of course, we want to create value. I would say about 10 months ago or 12, our stock was at $35. It's now close to 90. I mean, it's doing magnificent. So that's what we give our shareholders. Just a shot here about the kinds of benefits that the company has. On the left side is company paid benefits, and we even have cancer insurance. Okay. And then on the other side is the benefits that the people can get, that the associates get, and they pay some money for it, but it's wide. I mean, it's a lot of stuff. And we have also employee assistance program, company match, business, all kinds of stuff that other companies have. We have them as well. So just to give you a glimpse of the kind of benefits that we have. And so gonna give you a little bit of a timeline here, because way back, 2000 BC, this is where the wheel was, starting to be used for different purposes, in this case for chariots, right? And so to think that in 2000 years, and then all of a sudden, we're moving into the next phase, and in 52, Blaupunkt introduced the first automotive FM radio. My goodness, I don't even listen to FM radio too much anymore, but basically things keep moving. In 1996, this is when AutoNation was born, and Wei Heisinger, he was a real innovator. He was a terrific guy, and so he started the whole process, and we're very thankful to him. And from here on, we kept moving. We actually have a contract with Waymo, which is the company that one of the companies that's doing self-driving technology, and we're actually using their cars in Phoenix so that Toyota dealers can deliver parts, you know, automated. So nobody has to drive the cars; they just go and deliver the parts. It's pretty cool stuff. So you can think of selling cars as, like Jonathan was saying, maybe boring. Well, guess what? It's a lot. There's a lot of fun behind the scenes because we're doing a lot of stuff that is leading edge. And so now it's up to you, and we are willing to have interns coming in and help us continuing to get there, right? So what drives us? Okay, I was talking about driving pink and local community involvement. Not going to go into a lot of this in detail, but as I said, $25 million for cancer research. We hold all kinds of events everywhere. We work very closely with the dolphins, and they do a lot of stuff with us as well, right, Taylor? We do all kinds of different events all over the country. So it's really great. And we also have races and other activities to collect money for many causes. Just wanted to kind of emphasize that. So I wanted to give you a little bit of a view of my life and how I became a project manager and where I am right now. And it's interesting because I was born in San Juan, Puerto Rico, and I grew up there. And I went to high school and college over there. Now, when I was getting ready to go to college, I had a little conversation with my mother. And hold on a second. This is being recorded, and hold on a second. All right, I've lost my place here. Okay, so hold on. I'm trying to hit the button to move, and it's not doing it. Hold on a second.
Do you want me to, maybe you can unshare and then share back?
Yeah, let's do that real quick. Yeah, it's kind of hanging.
So let me see how I can unshare.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. I got it. Can you see it?
Well, still on the bottom. It's I guess still transcribing your text.
But you can see my screen up here?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a different, I guess, view because on the bottom it's got the text going. So let me see.
So let me try it again. Hold on.
There you go. I think that fixed it. Whatever you just did there.
So is it better? Is it better now?
Yep, you got it.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. All right. So what happened was, when I was going to go to college, my mother said, okay, so let's find the career for you that really that you make money and you're happy and whatever. Why don't you become a psychologist? That's what she was, right? So I'm like, well, I don't know about that, whatever. But I humored her and I went to college, right? Well, guess what? After 2.5 years, I was so bored, it was not funny. And there's a point to this story, okay? So I took a detour, right? And I dropped out. I said, I'm bored with this. I don't want to do it. So I went to work for a bank, and I actually became a bank teller. And I'm like, oh, this is the coolest thing and whatever. I'm making money. And then all of a sudden, I'm bored again because I need to do something else with my life. This is not going to take me where I want to be. So I dropped out for a bit. I came back and I got a job during the day, and I went to school at night. Okay. And that was one of the toughest things I've ever had to do in my life, because not only was I motivated to study, right, but I had a job to do. And so I spent many long nights trying to figure out, what to do, my assignments and everything, but I did it. And I got my diploma, right? Business administration. That's what I wanted to do. And finance. Okay, right. Now what, right? Well, Puerto Rico got a little bit too small for me. So I went to New York. All right, if I can make it there, I can make it anywhere. So I actually went to New York, ended up in a bank. Funny, right? But after working about for a year and a half at the bank, they started a systems department. And they said, you want to move over there? I said, hey, absolutely. I'm going to go over there. So I did that. And then ended up moving to Citibank later on. At Citibank, that's the first time that I became a project manager. And my boss said to me, I have $500,000 for you. And I have an empty floor in this building in New York. And you got to build the entire office for a company. And you had to do it in a year. And there was nothing. There was no cables. There was nothing. It was barren. I had to do everything. I had to select vendors. I had to pick the technology, the computers, the servers, everything, the software, you name it. I did it in a year. I did it under $500,000. And I got hooked because I got an award for doing that. And I said, this is my passion. And that's the thing that I wanted to bring to you. You got to find out what your passion is. Don't let anybody tell you what it is. You're the only one that can figure that out, okay? So took a detour, hey, because it's not a straight line for everybody. So you need sometimes to experience something to figure out exactly what your life is gonna be like. So now I wanted to pass it on to my good buddy, Taylor, and he's gonna tell you about his experience.
Sure. Thank you everyone for having me in today. I wanted to talk a little about myself. So my name is Taylor Kruck. Graduated in 2019 from FAU. Was sitting in your shoes just 2 years ago as a part of MISA. Great opportunity for me. And that's kind of where I was introduced to AutoNation and the team. So I'm an associate project manager or project coordinator at the time. I'm in the technology infrastructure area. I work with a bunch of different projects in security. I work in infrastructure, dealing with upgrading apps and different projects. And that's one of the great things I like about project management is I get a dip into each different department. I get to see the different projects going on and really work with all these great people within the different teams. So to take us back to the career fair, I went to the career fair in 2019, and I'm going around, talking to a couple people, and the conversations were going pretty good. But I mean, then I met Luis. He was at the AutoNation table, and we're kicking it off, having a great conversation. He's talking to me about all the new technologies that I could be potentially working with at AutoNation. And the following week, we had the AutoNation MISA meeting, and I followed up, came in, reintroduced myself, and before you know it, we're having great conversations, and we get hooked up into HR and figuring out what steps can take to become an intern. And it was a great experience. I came in, had a couple interviews, and immediately I'm connecting with the team. It felt like a great place for me. So essentially, I went in and I landed the internship. And within the first week, it was funny. I come in on the first day of work, I'm getting my badge picture taken, and I'm the only person in the building wearing a shirt and tie. Everyone's kind of like business casual. I'm walking around nervous, the young guy with my tie on, and it was awesome. And being introduced to the new teams, the directors, our whole infrastructure team in technology, and everyone was so welcoming. It was a great first experience as an intern, especially as a first technology job. So within the first week, the picture to the right is actually the first team I worked with. We worked on a small project, upgrading one of our ServiceNow applications, and great experience. They brought me in. They kind of led me through the project, but they really gave me the power to lead, even though I was a young intern coming in. And it was a great experience. They really empowered me to do what my job is, and they didn't really look at me as this young kid coming in. They were like, "Hey, you're the project manager. We're following your lead. Let's run with it." And so it was a great experience from the start. And now we're moving up in larger projects, larger teams with different vendors, and really get an insight on all these different technologies that we're working with. It's been a great experience.
Awesome.
Some of the opportunities that really are strong feelings to me, and the reasons why I enjoy it so much is it's really a team feeling. Luis is my boss, but he also mentors me through my career path and areas that I could work well with. Always exchanging personal experiences, what I can do, and things that can help. So right off the bat, you got a great boss. Working through my career, but also, you know, staying on top, getting the company's objectives met and whatnot. And so some of the things that the career growth is really there. They really empower the team. You know, we have multiple occasions where I'm here kind of trying to understand the situation, what we can do better. So they really let me, you know, pitch my ideas, and they empower me. If they let me go ahead and run with it, they say, hey, this is your idea. Let's go ahead. Let's try this out. We can do a discovery. We can go pitch it. We call it Shark Tank. Basically, every time we're trying to budget our projects and go and get it approved, we go to Shark Tank and we really pitch our ideas and pitch the project, our project plan with our full team. And it's a cool experience going in there and pitching to the sharks, our VPs and some of the executives.
Yeah. It's a
But
fun thing.
overall, it's a great experience. I've been learning so much in the past about year and a half it's been now. From, like I said, security projects, working out with the DevOps team, the data management team. You know, I really get an insight on everything that's out here, and it's been a great experience really trying to find my way, what works best. And if I ever had a change in heart, wanted to do something more security related, you know, that I have the power to do so, you know, through working with Luis and trying to get involved in different projects that, you know, I want to be on, but also, you know, I have the skill set for it. So it's been a great experience.
Hey, thanks so much, Taylor. I appreciate that. And so you can see where he's standing there in that photograph. This is called the intersection, and is on the 15th floor of the AutoNation building. It's a place where people go to eat stuff, to hang out, to work sometimes. It is where we have different activities, and it's the coolest thing, and it's got the most beautiful view. So it's very relaxing up there. So we all kind of gravitate towards that a lot. Of course, now we can't do it too much, but eventually we'll go back to that. Okay, thanks, Taylor, again. So lastly, just wanted to talk a little bit about the internship opportunities. I just heard today there are some, they're going to post some openings in information technology and IT, also finance and marketing. Okay. In fact, I think I saw the marketing one in the website already. So so what I'm going to tell you is that this is the place where they're going to be posted. Okay. So you go to jobs.autonation.com and see that, you know, there's a little button that says see the jobs, and you can page through a whole bunch of stuff there. Look for the ones that say interns, and you can actually you know, get involved that way. Just some tips for you for the final 9 minutes that I have. There's a lot of demand for technology jobs, especially all over the place. It never stops. And we're always looking for project managers. We're looking for engineers, you know, customer service people, client services, networking. You know, we are into all these technologies, and our stores are the recipients of this. And so again, because for selling cars, they need a lot of stuff. They need the system that's going to tell them what cars are available, how they can get them. They have to have Wi-Fi to get the iPads to go outside to the service base and check you in, so that you don't have to do all kinds of gyrations to get your car serviced. So all kinds of technology, and the stuff that you don't know that I can tell you because it's proprietary is super cool. So there's a lot of demand for this kind of stuff. We tend to get people that are in, and for example, you know, when Taylor came in as an intern, in a couple of months, I made him a direct offer as an associate of the company. But we also do contract to hire, so we can contract somebody, and if we like them, we hire them. It's like a, you know, try before you buy kind of thing. So that works for us too. Work hours are pretty normal. I mean, obviously, we tend to be a 9-to-5 company, or 8-to-4, or whatever you want to call it. I'm flexible with the time. I care more about what you are delivering rather than the hours that you're putting to do it. So, you know, it's pretty good environment. There's a lot of relationship building, and that starts the moment you interview. Okay, I'm really big on relationships and on personality. Okay, you could have a curriculum and a thing this big, you know, and you know, a background this and that. If you don't have the right personality for my team, I look the other way. So it's really that's what I'm looking for. So resumes, oh my God, I saw a resume that was 10 pages the other day. For God's sake, don't ever do that. Okay. Don't ever do that. There's all kinds of different suggestions out there on the internet and LinkedIn and everything about how to do this. Just be snappy, be direct, be to the point. You don't want in a resume to put all the stuff. You just need to make me hungry to want to interview you. And that's what I look for. Also, use emotional intelligence. If you want to get to me, answer the question that I'm asking. Okay. I had an interview the other day and I was asking this and he was answering that. And I was asking this other thing and he was answering. There, you need to listen. Listen first. And then, you know, formulate those responses to sell yourself as you're a brand. Basically, you start building your brand by doing that. And we appreciate that. Shadowing. When you come in, we tend to shadow you. So Taylor had people that he was shadowing at the beginning, and that way he gets more comfortable. I also have an onboarding process. So whenever I get somebody in, no matter what level, I have a document that onboards you from soup to nuts, and it tells you how we do things, how you do it, even from the moment that you walk in and you want to know where the bathroom is, all the way to this is how you build projects, this is how you manage people, this is how you deal with the team, this is how you deliver projects. Okay, so it's a very involved environment to make people succeed in what they're doing. And you know, I tend to not see problems. I always see opportunities. So I don't sit there and wail about something that, you know, that is not working right. Rather, I figure how to fix it. Okay, this is something that is big in this company. Don't go to your boss and say, I don't know how to do this, or what should I do? Go to your boss, to me, and say, I have these options. Can you help me pick the one that I think that you think is best? Or better yet, come yourself with an option to me and say, hey, this is the one I think. You know what I mean? You have to have that kind of insight into the things. And the thing that I like about Taylor, for example, is that he dives into it and he gets to know what he needs to know. And he can explain it back to us. He can communicate with people. And this is my team. He's representative of what my team is. We're very successful as a team, get accolades all the time because of that personality thing that tells you I'm driven to, you know, to fulfill the goals of the project. All right. So finally, the contact information for AutoNation. I told you about the website, but there's also this wonderful lady in human resources. You can, if you see anything that's interesting to you, you can send her an email. She told me yesterday, tell them I'm happy to help them with anything that they want to know about what's available, et cetera, et cetera. I love her to death. So please do that. And I think with that, we can go into Q&A. You're on mute, Jonathan.
I'm trying to get back to my screen. I take screenshots behind the scenes, so it's like I was on the screenshot and I'm like, no, I can't grab it.
You want me to stop sharing now?
Oh yeah, if you can go ahead, I'll go ahead and stop the recording.
Okay.